So we're about to expose the source of my grief back in, was it early spring, I guess.
Yes, if you remember, we did quite a long video about failed water pump, submersible water pump at Robert's place. We didn't, the cause wasn't obvious. It was still pumping water, but we were getting strange fibers in the water. A lot of backing and forthing. We eventually determined that it was the submersible pump chewing itself up in some way. So we got a new pump and put it in, and that solved the problem. But this pump was only 3 years old. It's a good name too. Juro is a respected name. So we got a replacement. They sent us a brand new one, which is handy to have on hand as a spare, because we've chosen to go with a 120 volt submersible pump, which is not too typical. The reason for that is so that we can power the water pump with a small generator if need be. Also, so not in addition to a brand new pump, we've got the motor from the old pump. And this was bolted together once upon a time. There's nothing wrong with the motor. It was just the pumping chamber. And that's what I want to show you now. We're going to cut this apart and find out exactly what went wrong. I know something went wrong because you try to turn the thing by hand and something's not right in there. No plumber that I ever called about this had ever heard of this sort of problem before, the pump chewing itself up. So it's kind of unusual. I'm interested to see what's inside of a pump like this anyway. I've never seen inside one, and also why it's broken. So we're going to get a nice big power hacksaw, and we're going to cut this open and see what we find. I don't know if it'll be worth looking at or not. I'm not sure where we should cut. What do you think, Robert? Do you think we should go just slice it in the middle, or try something angled, or what do you think?
Well, probably in the middle. I mean, it's going to be quite a long cut if we try to go angled. And
yeah. Okay. So the electric motor fastens here with this coupling, and this area remains open. This is where the water gets sucked in, and I guess it gets drawn in around the shaft there, inside, and then eventually comes out the top. There's a check valve here in the top of the pump, so stops the water from trying to get back down again once it's been pumped up. Let's give this a whirl here. Do you think I should get safety glasses?
You got your little cordless there too?
Yeah, not that I can use it here, but I was just going to mention how often I use these hacksaws. They're pretty handy. I don't do a whole lot of metal work, but I do from time to time, and these things have been enormously helpful. This is a nice little handheld one, couple inch throat depth, just for small stuff. But for this job, we're going to need to go with the cordless, or the corded, and actually, I'm going to move this over a little bit. Yeah, so, are we ready?
Yep.
Okay, here goes. Almost through. I can tell we've been going through different sort of densities. Sometimes it's taken a while to cut through, sometimes it's just fallen right through, so the mystery's almost done. So that's
there
interesting.
it is, huh?
But we must be okay. We're below the interesting bit, I think. Yeah, we're still into the section. I think. Yeah, we're still into the section where the water gets drawn up. See, the water comes in here, but you see there's openings here, 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 and here. So the water's coming up there, and there's sort of a swirling thing going on. Ah, but you know what? Okay. Doesn't this look kind of familiar?
Sure does.
Yeah.
Cursed fibers
That's the stuff we saw floating around in the water.
gave me grief in spring.
But I don't really see anything wrong there.
I mean, this is pretty fibrous in there. Right?
Look
at that.
Yeah, look at that.
What is that? Or what was that?
Well, it was, well, most of it was sawdust from the sawing we did. But I think there may be something down further. Let me get a screwdriver. Start a little bit of bashing and smashing here.
Gonna bash and smash now?
Well, maybe a little poke and pry first, but I think there may be some sort of a pumping chamber under here. You know, these pumps are always described as having different stages, like a 2-stage pump, a 3-stage pump. I'm kind of thinking there's probably a series of pumping chambers, and we may be past the first one. So let's just... Yeah. This looked to be some kind of a pumping chamber in there.
Plexiglass?
No, well, some kind of clear plastic, but... Oh, that's interesting. This little thing is coming out now. It's hard to tell, but I think this thing is an impeller. And yeah, look at that. Once upon a time, it was fastened to this shaft. But you can see, look at the rub marks. Can you see that? The rub marks on the side here?
Yeah.
I think that this, for whatever reason, this lost its grip on the central shaft. And then this shaft was just spinning within this first impeller.
And wearing away the plastic.
Yeah.
Of the impeller, and that's what the fibers were?
Exactly. Well, they look just like this, except a bunch of them.
Yeah, that's identical to what we pulled out of my taps.
Well, we consulted a couple of plumbers at the time, because we didn't want to go out and buy another $1,000 pump, put it on, and find the fibers were still floating around. But none of them, and these are guys with 30 and 40 years experience, they've never heard of a submersible. They deal with them all the time. Never heard of them breaking down like this.
What do you figure's under there?
There might be another impeller. I mean, we can't, or certainly, yeah, look at that. I hope I can get it apart more, but whatever bearing there was down there is kind of shot now. Oh, there we go. Well, just your basic disaster going on in here. I'm still curious about what's going on deeper in here, though. I think we found our culprit as far as why this thing broke. I'm still curious. You can't tell by the video, but this stuff here, this discoloration, it's iron. I can smell it. It smells like iron. You have a fair amount of iron in your water.
Yeah.
I hope there isn't something peculiar about our water chemistry that chews up submersible pumps every few years. I don't think so, but I just thought I'd give you something to worry about. Should we cut it again? Just to see what's further up?
Why not?
Okay. Oh, that's kind of interesting, isn't it? What was that?
Another washer or something?
Well, I'm seeing another pumping chamber of some kind. I think there's probably at least another one of these impellers. Maybe not. It's kind of like a little water wheel. it spins around, and you see it's got these angled things.
Mm-hmm.
Water impellers always look like this. I've seen them in jet pumps too, and they kind of grab the water, as I understand it. They grab the water as it spins around and force it down in towards the center. That's kind of how it moves the water. So it's a sort of propeller. Here's that check valve. So I said when the water flows out, pushes it open, but when it tries to go back down again, it can't. Have we solved any sort of a mystery here? Maybe we should I try bashing my way further in?
Might as well.
Okay.
Can't help but think back to your words of wisdom to me when I was a little kid at times like this. Robert, never force anything. Figure out why it's not opening up. Don't bash and smash.
Okay, you got me.
Yeah.
But sometimes a bash and smash is necessary, right?
When you're dealing with a pump that's already broken, for instance.
So now isn't this... Okay, look at this. This is interesting. So here's the central shaft. Once upon a time connected to this. And this is one of the impellers, the not broken one. One of the not broken ones, I can see some more in here too. And the impeller is locked to the shaft by virtue of its hexagonal shape. Oh, yeah, hexagonal shape. That's the thing that was broken out of the center of this one.
So, how exactly had it broken? Can we see that? Like, did
Not
the
exactly.
hexagonal part had just broken loose of the disc, or
Yeah.
had it worn to a circle?
No, it broke. I don't know, maybe something got caught in it. There's nothing in your well, though, and we were a long way off the bottom. But, yeah, another impeller. I bet there's a third one in here somewhere. Another one. I can see what looks like two more in there.
Two more.
Two
So
more.
that's a total of what, 5 now?
5, it looks like, yeah. Certainly there's at least one more. Actually, I can see two more. Two more of them in there.
As far as we can see, it was just the one that let go, right?
Yep. All the others were fine.
That's why it was still kind of working.
Pumping
not reaching,
decently, yeah.
Yeah, just wasn't reaching 60 psi.
So, there's no particular moral of the story here. I just thought you might find it interesting to look inside and see how these things go together, see how this pump failed. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up in the YouTube format, and subscribe. And if you do, hit the notifications bell so you know when I put out new videos. Check out my website. The URL's in the description box, and there's other good stuff there. I have a weekly newsletter on Saturday mornings. People love that. I have contests going on, tool giveaways, all kinds of neat stuff. So join me there. Thanks.